In this video, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the difference between traditional versus headless content management systems. I had mentioned it briefly before, but let's take a look at some diagrams that will hopefully illustrate the concepts even more clearly for you. Here on the left, you see the traditional CMS, like something like WordPress. These are systems that allow you to enter all of the content like your blog posts or your pictures or videos or articles, while at the same time providing you with an easy interface for also controlling how that content is displayed. This has to be done explicitly though, and you can see here with the lock icon and the arrow going down to the computer that the structure that you define within a traditional content management system is locked in to that structure in presentation. This means that the front end of your application and the back end being provided by the CMS are strictly coupled. They're strictly tied together, and you can't have one without the other. This can become cumbersome as these sites grow large and requires users simply entering content to also have an understanding of the relationship that content will have with the front end presentation of that content. This creates a higher barrier to entry for those looking to work on these applications. It also means that these traditional CMSs can only produce content for one explicit front end. They can only explicitly define one presentation, one set of content for the one application. You can see on the right that our headless CMS seeks to change this up a bit. A headless CMS is said to be decoupled from the front end. This means that they are totally separate, they're totally independent, and the back-end headless CMS doesn't care about and actually doesn't even know about the front end that ends up receiving its data. In a headless CMS, content is always only exposed through APIs, and those APIs can be accessed by any number of different front ends. In this example, you could see a smart watch or a computer with a web application or a native application, say with React Native, on a mobile phone. All of these front ends could be entirely separate from each other while all pulling their data from the same headless CMS. A headless CMS should be completely unopinionated as to what front end is actually receiving the data, which allows you to customize your content delivery channels and experiences specifically for each device and environment, creating the optimal experience for each one. This allows you a great deal of flexibility across all your different platforms and makes it much easier to scale. Using a headless CMS really frees you up to take advantage of the wide array of modern web experiences. One of the other large benefits that I personally see to using a headless CMS system is that it really lowers that barrier of entry to allowing people into your application in a closer way than would have ever really been possible before. Now you can have completely non-technical editors, authors, or other staff members entering content like articles, blog posts, pictures, products, any sort of this type of information into your headless CMS without any requirement for knowledge of the front end system that it's going to, or even the underlying technical aspects of the CMS itself. It really exposes such a user-friendly experience that anyone should be able to pick it up within just a few minutes and begin entering content that you as a developer will be able to work with seamlessly. A headless CMS removes all the friction between creating your data and using it. And I think that's going to enable really powerful behavior, innovative workflows, and completely new processes for putting together web applications and content. So I'm really excited to see how this is going to evolve and transform the web throughout the next coming years. The greater independence that we can get between the content and the data that we work with and the applications that receive and process that information, I think that the greater collaboration it will encourage throughout the world. So it'll be really interesting to watch. So now that we know a little bit more about what a headless CMS is, let's take a look at what our headless CMS solution is going to be in the next one.